And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to IT Career in Australia live stream. And tonight's topic is how to get promoted as a woman in IT industry. Thank you so much for finding some time this evening to join our live discussion. Please, as usual, make sure to introduce yourselves in the comments. Let us know what you do and join our conversation with your comments and questions. As usual, I'm really encourage you to say hi in the comments, because if you're not saying hi, I don't know that you're watching and I don't know that you're here. So please give me some, hi or thumbs up or at least something. So if you're new to my live show, I'm Yana Martins and I've recently entered IT industry myself. So I'm passionate about learning more and also sharing my new findings on this YouTube channel. So tonight, as I said, we're going to talk about how to get promoted as a woman in IT industry. And Shivangi is going to share her story, her experience, the challenges she faced during her career, how she overcome it, and the lessons she learned on her way. So obviously incredibly relevant topic for those who, seeking promotion or maybe not sure, what to do next. So make sure to share it with your colleagues and friends who need to hear this. So before I pass it over to Shivangi to introduce herself, I just want to quickly remind you that we're going live as usual on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So to watch the replays, I ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, IT Career in Australia. So I'm going live there every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Melbourne time, with various experts from my network. And we're talking about all the things about IT career, job search, and specifics of IT industry in Australia. Also, you can join my meetup group to make sure you get notifications about upcoming discussions. Maybe we'll have some face-to-face events coming up as well. So, watch the space. And as usual, we're going to try to answer all your questions from all the platforms. So please make sure ask as many questions as you want, as long as you're staying on the topic, please. And the most active participants will also receive a nice surprise at the end of the stream. And as usual, I always encourage you use this live stream not only as an opportunity to learn something new, but to network with people in the industry. So anyway, that's enough of me. As I said, make sure to, introduce yourselves in the comments. And I'm passing over to Shivangi to introduce herself. Please.
Thanks, Anna. Hi, everyone. I'm Shivangi. I'm engineering manager with MYOB currently. I have started my career as a developer around 13 to 14 years ago. So I've grown into a leadership role recently. So I'm looking forward to share my experiences and my journey with you all. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Shivangi. So I guess, we're gonna dig into the topic, straight away. I always like to ask first, my guest speakers to tell their story, give a bit of an overview, I guess, why they're passionate about the topic they're talking about as well. So yeah, if you can give us, your quick story, how did you get here, and what actually encouraged you to come and talk about this topic tonight?
Yeah, thanks, Yana. So why IT first? If I can be honest, I think I didn't choose IT because I was very passionate about it from the young age. Um, I was doing Master of Computer Applications in my university, and you'll be surprised. I was last few to get placement from my university, so I never thought I'll succeed in IT. So where am I? I think I surprised myself. So there is no that childhood passion in me to pursue in IT. It was just one of the career I picked, and I just excelled in it. So I think that's my background of why IT. And I started my career as a developer. And initially, it was an uphill challenge because, as I said, I was never passionate, so coding didn't come naturally to me. But luckily, I found mentors along the way who helped me develop that skill. And I started problem solving rather than just focusing on the language. and the processes around the software development as overall. So that's what kept me going. Um, and then eventually, when I was at the start, at the stage of my career where I was like, what now? Like I have been doing on-hands development. All of a sudden, I started taking more of those leadership opportunities without being a leader, and I started enjoying more. I was looking forward to my next days, etc., or at the work rather than just being on the tools. So that made me realize that yes, I want to be a leader, but I was also conscious that I don't want to let go of my tech side as well. So that's when I thought that tech leadership is one thing where I could tr- try my next step. So that's how I grow into that tech leadership role. Why this topic is so close to my heart? I think the thing I'll share more towards as we are progressing towards the chat with you, Yana, but I feel uh, there is so much we there is the things have changed so much in the last 14 years from where I started, but the kind of things right now we are talking about, no one was talking about then. So I just want everyone to, that's what I'm passionate because I didn't get the support I had. So this chat is more around sharing those experiences and why talking about them is important. Because when we were not talking about it, it didn't help me. So
Definitely.
that's
And
my, yeah.
yeah. And yeah, so that's exactly the point, like if no one gonna talk about, their challenges and their experience, how the other people would know about it. And the
Yeah.
other people might think like, oh, it's just only me feel this way. And why do I feel this way? Where, we can relate to each other's stories and relate to each other's experience. And I always actually ask a lot of people this question, but you already answered it, in the beginning of your story, in terms of did you actually, choose your career and you had this, the goal that I'm going to be engineering manager, or you kind of just go with the flow. And I guess surprisingly, majority of people finding this balance that they not always know that that's exactly I want to be. It's always this balance of you have some sort of direction, but you still, going with the flow and grabbing opportunities on the way as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And but I guess really encouraging to hear that you didn't plan it at all.
Yes, not at all.
So so I guess let's start with those challenges on the way. And actually want to say hi to Brian. Brian is here listening to us. Brian, thank you for saying hi, because other people didn't say hi to us, so I can see you, but you just not saying hi. So again, encourage you to say a quick hi to us. So yeah, let's start with the I guess challenges. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously everyone have different challenges on the way. It's different for everyone. So I guess we're trying to talk also about the women in tech today. So yeah, so what do you think was top or your top challenges when you go through your career in tech?
Yeah. Before I start sharing it, I just wanted to put a disclaimer out there that these are my challenges and the things I'm going to share are my experiences. I don't want people listening to take it as like source of truth. It's more like everyone has their individual experiences, and I'm just here to share my experience. And probably, if those can start act as a conversation starters, is what I am aiming for. That I want people to think and start their conversations, think about the people around them. So I thought I'll just start with that before I start sharing my journey. That please keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
Yeah, and definitely everyone's experience is different. But yeah, as you mentioned before, if we don't talk about it, how do we know that we're experiencing
Yes.
the same things? Okay,
Cool.
so yeah, challenges.
I think the one challenge initially I faced in my career was around unconscious bias, which is which is basically tempers the way we treat each other in our workspace. And it could be to different reason, your appearances, the way you dress, the way you think, the way you talk, or the way you work as well overall. So why I'm going to share an example of why that was a challenge for me. uh, I was at a workplace and way back in India, and I was like, if I will ask audience, or Yana, maybe you, like,
Mhm.
how would you perceive a software developer to dress like? What would you think?
Trackies and t-shirt.
Yeah, right? It's always like that. And then here comes me, who loves to dress, um, and loves to shop. I like to wear clothes, like I like to keep my wardrobe updated. I like to shop and wear new clothes. That makes me happy, right? And all of a sudden, there's a gossip around in the office that because I was giving my 100%, I was getting more opportunities from my managers, from my leaders around to perform some leadership task as well. And all of a sudden, there is a rumor going on in the office that I'm getting all these opportunities because I'm dressing to impress my manager. So I felt that once I came to know about it, till the time I didn't know, I was fine. But once I came to know about it, I started taking step back because I started thinking that this is not the right thing, right? That people are saying about me. And I remember very accurately one of my leaders came, hey, this is a tech lead hat or an opportunity, and I would like you to take it on in this project. And I said no, just because I was concerned how I'm being perceived outside. So I felt like it happens to all of us, female versus male, but I feel like my experience is like even the females were gossiping about me. So it was just not male. So we need to be really conscious that just because we think like software developers can only wear trackies is your perception. It's not the reality. Reality is something different. So
And that's a
yeah,
great example, Shivangi. And I always give examples that a lot of people don't think about how, I guess, discrimination on physical attractiveness could be way higher than discrimination any other, like gender, racism, or anything like this. We just don't think about it as well.
yes,
But there is so many, unspoken things that comes across, and like, someone just prettier, or someone's maybe not as attractive, and we tend to not talk about this topic as well.
that's true.
And there's just so many examples where can go either way. And
Yeah.
I think example of the gossips around, and how we can, and the hardest thing, how you not react and not to not take it personally.
Yeah, that's true. And I think we should respect each and everyone and how they want to be till the time they are respectful to everyone in the team, right? So I felt that was a big blocker. Had I had said yes to the tech lead opportunity, it would have given a push to my career very early on. And so I feel like that's one of the biggest challenge I have faced early on in my career.
That's and that's a great example of, I guess, not taking the opportunities. Like, do you feel like you didn't take the opportunity like purely because you were worried that what people would say? Yeah.
Yeah, it is because I was, if I'm being honest, I was not mentally in a healthy space that moment. Because
Yep.
think
Yep.
about, I was married, I had a kid, and I had this gossip going all around office, and I was like, and we're talking about way back in 2010, where and that too in India, and it was not progressive as we are right now. So yes, I was concerned, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna
No.
take it. It's not healthy for my mindset. But now I regret it that I let it overpower me.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're great example, Shivangi. Guys, you who listening to us, guys and girls, have you experienced anything similar? If you do, please share with us in the comments. Would be great to know. I'm sure there is, various examples like that. But I guess, I've noticed, the next challenge you mentioned is systematic bias. So I never even heard about the systematic bias. What's, what do you mean by that?
I think for me, systematic bias is like when your system around you, not you, makes you think that you are failing, and it's biased towards you for in terms of gender, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of color, etc. There's so many other things, or in terms of diversity itself. Um, Again, I'll take an example even in this one. So, in total of 14 years of experience, I do have a career gap of 2 years uh, after my son was born. I have a 13-year-old at home. So you can imagine how hard it is for him to stay in a room today when I'm doing a chat with you, Yana. So when he was born in 2008, I took a break for like 2 years and then I returned to the workplace. And at that time, when I was looking for a job, I was very clear that I'm going to balance out both family and my life, work life. And I wanted to just work 9 to 5. And I got a thumbs up that yes, we support this and you're going to work 9 to 5, etc. All went well for 1 month. Then all of a sudden, I started getting feedback from my manager, from my other leaders, that you going at 5 is not giving the right example to the rest of the team. And I was like, what? Why? I'm doing my job, right? Uh, the task I have been given, I am doing it. Everyone is getting, I'm not missing my deliverables, etc. Like, what's the question? And he was like, just, it's not the right example because rest of the team is working till 11 in the night. And I was like, but they come to office at 10 o'clock. I'm coming to office at 9. And just because of that, I thought if I need to progress as compared to other people, other team members who didn't have kids or who don't have responsibilities, I need to start doing more work hours. And I actually did. I let go of my family responsibilities and I started focusing on work, tampering my health, tampering my family life. So I felt like the system around me made me think that I'm not doing a good job 9 to 5 and I need to spend more time to prove myself that even after 2 years of break, I still understand coding. Would you forget how to laugh or how to eat, Yana, after 2 years of break?
Never how to eat. I can
Right?
I can show you how to eat anytime.
Yeah, so if that's the case, how can you judge a returning mom saying that you need to prove, you need to spend more time to prove that you still know how to code? So I felt like that was another thing that it felt like I had to start again from the scratch.
Yeah. And I think it's like two challenges, like probably like two challenges in here. This challenge of the gap, and I think a lot of people experiencing it. Obviously, the most common reason then, that you have a kid and you want to spend time. And I'm actually really surprised how short the maternity leave here in Australia. Then I was growing up, or like everyone, like my mom would take 3 years leave to when then I was a kid, and it was kind of it was normal back then. But yeah, it is a hard one because technology is like moving so quickly, and like how long is long enough? I think that's it's a big question here, because you do want to spend time with your newborn, but you do want to catch up on some technology too. So I think that's one of the challenges that majority of women will face. And anyone basically who taking any break from the career, maybe like someone take the break just to go and travel for like a year.
Yes.
And every time they come back, they get questioned about, but you had a break. what you've been doing, why you're not working nonstop.
Yeah, that's true.
And we have actually a few people, saying hi because I asked them to say hi. Adam's
Hi,
here.
Bex.
Hi, Shivangi. I love your work. Ruwanf is here. Hi, Yana and Shivangi. Chao is here, new to YouTube channel live, so apologies for slow hello.
It's okay. Hello.
Brian is asking, do you feel that it has improved in 2022?
Hi, Brian. That's a really good question. I think definitely yes. From the time when I started, I've seen a huge improvement. First, we are talking about it. Organizations are talking about it, and they are putting in measures or processes in place to support returning moms or returning parents, I should say, because nowadays more and more dads are also taking paternity breaks, and that's a very good change. So, yes, definitely things are improving because the organizations are putting a concentrated effort in making things better, and it always starts at the top. But I still feel we do have a long way to go in terms of an ideal place. I hope that
Yeah,
answers your question.
I would love the 4-day week, to be honest.
Yes, yes,
That would be my
yes,
ideal place.
that's
Anyone
true.
there? You have a 4-day week job offer? Send it to me.
Yeah,
Shao is saying, in my opinion, everyone is judged everywhere and all the time. It's about how we manage it and what we want to do about it. And yeah, definitely can relate to your comment, Shao. Shivangi, what do you think?
I think yes, I agree. And judging people is like everywhere in your personal life as well, in your work life as well. Till the time it's not when we are judging someone, you can't stop other people to judge you, but what you can do is work on yourself and how to react to it. So that's a lesson I have learned during that journey as well. But when I started, I was a 23-year-old young girl, right? I was still learning. So it was hard for me to understand that people are going to judge irrespective. You do good, you do bad, because you can't change their perception. So,
And I
yes, Shao,
think,
I agree.
yeah, and I totally agree that we tend to be more, receptive to the judgment than we young.
Yes,
I think like as older we get, as more we kind of let go of the things that people think about us. But definitely, like yeah, in the beginning, especially in the beginning of a career that you don't have much experience, that definitely those judgments will affect everyone way more. I believe, definitely from my experience as well. I think now I probably wouldn't care at all what people will think about me, but don't think it would be the case, 15 years ago.
that's true.
Um, and Jagrunis has a question as well. My question is why this topic is in the place. I mean, in IT industry, promotions based on other factors and not about men or women. So I'm curious to know the base of this question. There you go. That's a challenging one.
Yeah. No, thanks, Jagrup. That's a really nice, good question to put it out there that promotions are actually looked at the the way based on the other factors, not about the men and women. But if you see, especially in IT, especially in tech roles, as we go up the ladder, the representation of women is lesser, lesser, lesser. So that's why we are talking about this topic, that it is a fact because the studies, I think there is a recent study done by Deloitte where it says that as we go up the ladder, the representation goes less. So yes, it's studies have proven that fact, and that's why we are talking about it. But as I said, you should not just be. I'm not advocating that you should just get promoted because you're a woman. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are factors which impact women a bit more, which tends to make them not go up the ladder up to a certain point. So you would see a lot of females developers starting, growing into a late, let's say, developer role, a mid-level role, and a senior role. But after that, they just diverse towards not non-tech roles rather than tech roles. So that's
And I
why
think
this topic is important.
And I think in general, there are more initiatives around bringing people to IT. And
Yes.
as you said, there is some programs of, developing, skills. And MARB had this program and bringing people, who want to shift their career to software development. But there is not as many initiatives, to help with the further promotion. And as you mentioned just before, I guess, things around coming back from maternity leave, and having some cognitive bias and so on. But I think, as we talk about it, you have a few. We just start talking about. I guess one of the other challenges that you mentioned here. So yeah, representation gap.
So yes, I think representation gap, there are two aspects to it, representation gap. So I will share first when I was a young, right? So when I was young, I had such amazing mentors. And because of whom I think I do give them credit that from where I am, I didn't give up on IT, right? But all of them at my initial stage of the career were men. And at that time, when I look up and I was trying to find mentors, I always find male tech leads, male tech engineers who are leaders or who are seniors. And that made me think that it's a male, you only tech in leaders can be like more male representation. Then, if I looked at that time, the female representation was more around delivery, people leadership, and more like HR, where you do multitask, talk about people, emotions, all that. And I was like, okay, maybe that's the way the IT works, right? And there's a saying, right? If you see it, you can be it. But then, as I grew more and more, I realized there's another aspect of it, which is like, why can't you be the first? Like, so there are two aspects. One, when you are starting a career, you need someone to look up to and to understand that yes, there is a equal opportunity for everyone. Because as we have discussed earlier, we are not mature. I'm sure, at least I was not mature. I shouldn't generalize. I was not mature. I'm not sure about others. I was not mature to think that I can be the first. It took me until 2 to 3 years ago to realize that I can be the first.
Yeah,
So,
the having the role models.
yes,
Yeah, and definitely, I think when we're younger, again, it is really relevant to have someone to look up at and have a role
yeah,
model, compared, and yeah, then you kind of grow up and again like start thinking, why not? I'll give it a go.
yeah. So I think that's one. And then off lately, in last couple of years, I had such amazing mentors, both male and female, and where I could learn from them and understand that it's okay to be the first and it's okay to do that. It's not it's not like and it's not nothing it's not going to change anything. You're not going to fail and just because you are the first one. So I would say that yes, that was one of the challenges initially, that when I thought that females are just for delivery and people leadership, not for tech.
Not for tech. Yeah. Um, and yes, and you have one more there in the list. I guess that affect a lot of people as well.
Yeah. The other one I think is devaluing myself.
Yep.
Yeah. In that one, I feel like, again, this is relevant to um, both male and female. Like when we are applying for a job, for example, or applying for a new role, we always try to judge whether we are ready for it or not. For male, for at least from my understanding, from what I have observed or learned or read so far, it's like it's a whisper somewhere. But for females, it's a bit more loud, pounding noise, right? And when I usually look at a job, I'll try to tick yes, 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 and be like, yes, I can do it. And even if two of them say like no, 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 I'll be like, I don't think so. I should apply for this. I can't do this job. I won't be able to do this job. So I am, before even applying for that role or even asking for a promotion, I am getting myself out of it. So that was one thing which, that's a mindset shift. And it doesn't happen overnight. So the that's a challenge I have in last 14 years where I am just trying to talk myself out of it rather than talking myself in. And it's common in both the things. I'm sure, Yana, in your experience, for if I'm going to ask you, have you ever self-doubted yourself?
Ah,
You would
for
have.
sure.
Yeah.
And I think, it's a really common example when, males and females applying for jobs that, if the male can tick 60% of the requirements, he will apply. And if female applies, she will need to tick like at least 90% to
Yes.
apply for the job. But I like how you put it, like also this internal conversation of like trying to talk yourself out of
Yes.
it instead of trying to talk yourself into it.
That's true.
Yeah, to completely changing the perception of. I always try. It's a same thing. I'm trying to tell myself if I'm like looking for a job. I always try to tell myself like I'm choosing the job, not
Yes, that's true.
not people choosing me for the job. I'm the one who choosing the job. And just by simply changing the way how you perceive the situation, that also like can put you in this position of power compared to this position of like, oh, like, will I be chosen or not?
Yes. And I think even I see a trend in change, like even the job descriptions are becoming more inclusive now. And they are not like a tick boxes kind of a thing now. They're changing as well because I think that just fed from the study it was done that females are looking to tick all the boxes. And I have myself done that. But with the help of my mentors and when I was looking to work on myself, I realized that I'm doing it and I'm subconsciously doing it. And now I'm consciously putting an effort to not do it when I'm looking at something.
Yeah. We have a few comments that I would just we replied to the group a question before why we're actually talking about this topic. The group is saying, okay, is if there are stats, I'm in technical line, I have a few examples where women are doing a very good job, and that too in my own experience. In my current job, women are setting a perfect example of balancing out personal and professional life.
All
And I
right.
think we also, mentioned that it's changing.
Yes, it is. And Jagrup, I'm really glad to hear that in your workspace you could find examples where women are excelling. I'm really pleased to hear that.
And
So thanks for
and
sharing.
obviously have role models as well.
Yes.
Chow is saying tall poppy syndrome. Yeah, when we were talking about,
Yeah.
being the first,
Yes, that's true.
being the first sometimes feel uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Or being different. Yeah, so quite a popular. Australia is quite famous for actually tall poppy syndrome, I think.
Oh,
I think
that's good.
different cultures, different cultures different, but I think especially in Australia, like it's kind of like, don't need to be, don't need to stand out too much. Let's just all, kind of stick to the middle. Um, and Jagran is also saying, in my one of my previous organization, HR used to raise voice for equal participation.
Yeah, and I think that's what I said previously in one of my journeys I was sharing that it starts at the top. So more and more organizations are putting efforts into it to reduce that disparity and I'm glad to hear that your experience with one of the organizations was that. So really good. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
And I guess, coming back, to the topic. So obviously, thank you for sharing, the challenges that you face. And I know that, some of your examples comes to, 10 years ago. And I did heard some rumors that MIB doing a really good job and encouraging women in tech, and encouraging the career progression, and attracting women, more women in tech. I guess, would love to hear a bit more about how you overcome these challenges, how you change your thinking, and what lessons you learn on your journey.
Yeah, and first, yeah, I think MYOB is one of the most progressive or supportive working cultures I've worked in my tenure, and I've learned a lot. There is an FMA program, a developer her program, where I'm putting a plug out there. If anyone is keen on joining or looking for changing careers, please do reach out, and I'm happy to have a chat. And yes, I've been fortunate enough to have mentors within MYOB who have helped me grow into the role am I was looking for, and sometimes make me think that I am actually ready to take that role rather than thinking that it's not. So yeah, it's been great journey so far in the last 4 years.
And I guess, the one of your lessons that you're mentioning here is mentoring. So I
Yes.
guess that's one of the things that really help you in your career.
Yes, I think I've been always, as I have shared, that I've been fortunate enough that my mentors were very supportive. And it is two things. Once you need to work with your mentor, it's a two-way street. You cannot just not work and ask your mentor to help you. You need to like do a handshake, right? So if I'm doing a handshake to you, Yana, you need to respond back. If you're not responding back, that we are not gonna get anything out of it. So it's a relation. And I've always asked my mentors that what I need of them, rather than them figuring out what I need. But also over the time, I learned that there is a thing called sponsorship in mentoring. So mentoring is not only about a mentor helping you grow into your skills. Your mentor can also help you get you a new role, put your name out there for a role you want or a promotion you are seeking, or be your advocate. You can't be there everywhere. So you can build your relation with your mentor and ask how you can build network. And mentors are there. And if you have this open conversation, it really helps. And as females, I think more so in my experience, we are hesitant to ask. Like I have mentees who are females, and I'll be like, what do you want from me? And they'll be like, I just want to learn this. And I was like, what about networking? What about going it out there? What about just coffee catch-ups? Me introducing you to another people in the business. So I feel like it doesn't come naturally to us asking that I want to connect to people. So I feel like always look for sponsorship in mentoring, not just mentoring.
That's a great example, Shivangi, in terms of, yeah, it's not like you set up mentorship and just expect mentor to give you some lessons or give you some information. Yeah,
Yes.
it is about building those relationship, and the asking for introductions. Like I can't really ask how many, like tell how many times this asking for introduction helped me with with my business or career. It's so powerful. Then you get referred to someone instead
Yes.
of just doing just reaching out randomly. Even simple example with my live streams, I hardly even need to look for speakers because it's always someone
Yes.
referring me someone or suggesting me someone or introducing me someone, and all I need to ask, because if I don't ask, um It doesn't
It's
mean
not
that
going to
people
happen.
start sending me new speakers or anything like that. Yeah, but I'll just ask, do you know, maybe you know someone who will be great? Do you know someone who can talk about this topic? And even one person of like introduce you to one person, it's your network is already growing. And I think people sometimes just forget about how powerful it could be. Just ask this question: do you know anyone? Or
That's
like, do
true.
you know at least one person who can help me in this? Or can you introduce me to like two people who been in this role before? And those questions can take you way further than sometimes you think.
Yeah, I
um
agree.
Great example. We have some questions coming in as well. It's a long question. Okay, so Rivanthi is asking, I'm from software quality assurance and business analyst background. I would like to ask how to join back with work after having a break for 5 years due to moving for a new country, having new babies, and house management, especially because of the rapid change in tools and the technology. Now, even I'm watching this event while putting my baby into sleep. Thank you, Yana and Shivangi, for female empowerment. That's a big question, Ruanfi, but I guess there's a few live streams you can watch. I probably can send you some links, but I guess, Shivangi, if you summarize, your answer, what would be your top advice in this situation?
Thanks, Ravanti, for taking time out, especially with the baby sleeping in side by side you. So thank you so much. And in terms of coming back to work after 5 years, I would say that don't get overwhelmed, first of all, that don't think that you have forgotten anything. What you were doing before 5 years, you know still. If you know the basic, if your concepts are, if your foundational concepts are strong, even if the technology is changing, it's just a matter of you picking up a book or opening up a learning Udemy course and just refreshing yourself onto the new technology. So I would say my advice would be to first start thinking that I still have it in me, and then focus on listing the top three skills you would like to focus on learning, and then try to carve some time out whenever you can to work on those skills, and then start applying for your jobs. And as and when you start giving interviews, you'll get that confidence back that yes, you still have it in you. So I would say just have a plan and try to work towards it.
And I can always just reinforce the networking again.
Yeah, that's true.
Networking, going to meetups, joining the live streams like that, connecting to people, connecting to people who already in similar positions, talking about their experience. I think that's something that helps, especially when you're moving, like just move to another country as well. And I guess I'm cautious about the time. It's been a great discussion so far. Like we, already like 43 minutes our live stream, and we, hardly even scratched the surface of all the, all the things that we want to talk about. But let's just go through, your top lessons that you learn, in the next 5-10 minutes, because I think like
Sure.
everyone just getting so much value from it.
Um,
So the next one is stop seeking approval.
yeah, I think whenever we are trying to do something new, or whether we are trying to uh, apply for a job or think about a promotion or etc., we always try to ask feedback. And there's a difference between feedback and validation, external validation. And sometimes we overlap each other. So you take feedback, and then if that feedback is constructive, you work on it, right? And then it's different to asking, am I ready for a senior dev? Am I ready for a tech lead? Am I ready for engineering manager? If you are looking for external validation and you have a doubt in yourself, most In most cases, the opposite person will say, yeah, I don't think you're ready. And we just take a seat back. But I feel like you, because you can't ensure what people are going to tell you, right? If they're going to tell you what you want to hear, because if there is a self doubt in you and opposite person knows about it, they're going to probably start saying what you want to hear. But if you are going with the mindset of taking feedback, that this is the role I'm doing, and this is what, and I just want to understand, if I want to be a senior, where is the gap? If you go with that mindset, then I think that's more constructive than seeking approval, which is like, hey, can I be a senior? Or do you think I'm ready to be a senior? So I feel like you just need to change the conversation from stop seeking approval to start taking constructive feedback and embed that in your growth journey.
Yeah, what actions do I need to take instead of
Yeah,
am I ready for it? And I really like that you mentioned that seeking approval and seeking feedback is two different things, because when even like people applying for jobs, you can apply for the similar role in different organization and receive completely different
that's true.
completely different feedback, which you can take it on board, but it doesn't mean that you need to internalize it and think that that's it. If they gave me this feedback, that's that's who I am and that's what I'm worth. Like, yeah, great example of have a difference between feedback and approval.
Yeah.
um persistence.
Yeah. I think I this one is very close to my heart. I'll keep it short because we are running short of time. It's more about asking why. Never forget the power of why. As I said in previous one, stop seeking approval. At one point of time, I was told, I don't think you are ready to be a senior or you're not ready to be a tech lead. And I was like, okay. But then I started asking why. And when you ask people why, you are making them think hard. That when they are telling you no, you can't be this, you can't get a senior promotion, and you ask why, sometimes you don't get an answer. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, I need to think. So I feel like never stop asking why. And sometimes people say, as a senior, you need to have these things. As a tech lead, you need to ensure that you know this. You have these skills.
But
Ask why.
why?
Why?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was always clear that I want to go into a leadership with the people bent in it as well, keeping my tech side as well. But when I was growing into that tech space, I was like, why do I want to be an expert in DevOps when I don't want to be a DevOps engineer? So that's just one of the example I'm giving. So what I'm getting at is there's a power of why which we all should use to understand. I'm not saying that you should not take feedback, but understand why that feedback is coming from which place of that feedback is coming from, and why it is important. And also, the other part of persistence is never give up. If you have a goal to be a senior, you need to drive it. Nobody else will drive it for you.
And even
Your
simply telling people about it.
Yeah.
You might have
So
a goal of being senior, but you're not communicating it
yes.
to the rest. And
So
just you can't just wait for someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, do you want to be senior?
yes, don't wait for anyone else to tell you. Just start talking about what you want to be and start asking why. Be persistent with your journey. Don't give up. Drive yourself. Drive your own journey is what I would say.
Perfect. And yeah, so the power of why, I think, we can always, how sometimes we have a job description that, from 2010 and and it's been just reused from HR over and over again because it's just there and it's just
Yeah,
easy to copy and paste. So yeah, so don't think that everything is written there. It's a must and it's need to be there. So I think that's
that's
a
true.
really good instance of actually ask this why, and people who look at it maybe didn't even realize it's there.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, and Yeah, and one more. One
Yes.
more. Advocate yourself to yourself.
I think it'll follow up from my previous one as well. As I said, drive your own growth, take control of your own journey, and be your best cheerleader, be your own cheerleader. Because if you believe in yourself, you would be able to make other people believe in yourself as well. So if you are applying for a role or looking at a role or a promotion, rather than talking yourself out of it, try to ask yourself why you think you're not ready. Like before even saying no, try to shut down that stomping in your head saying you can't do this, you're not ready for this. And it's a mindset shift. It's not gonna come naturally, but it needs a conscious effort. So be your best advocate, because that's, you know what you can do, nobody else. And nobody cares about your growth as much you do. At least I have learned the from the time I started taking control of my career, it has helped me, because the progress is mine, the failures are mine.
Yeah, taking full
Yep.
responsibilities of all your actions.
Yeah.
And Shivangi, you gave like some like great examples, and I think you really can see how your mindset shift from 10 years ago. Then you, I guess, experienced some of these challenges, and maybe wasn't sure how to overcome it the best way. And coming to obviously now being an engineering manager to MIOB. But I guess I want to ask you, what you feel like. Did you feel like was some turning point for you? I mean, during your career, did you feel like it was just a gradual like growth and you gradually change your mindset, or you feel it was like some aha moment, something that changed in your mind suddenly and you're like, now I'm gonna do it differently, now I'm gonna just go for it? Was it some sort of turning point in your career, or is it was just more like a smooth journey and changing of mindset slowly?
I think there was a turning point when I joined MYB as a developer. The team I was put in, um, it was such a progressive team, and it was, I think, me and another colleague of mine. We were the two females, and rest of them were males. And all of a sudden, I feel like I was talking about I want to, everyone as a team, we were caring about each other's growth. Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Where do you want to grow into? And there was such an open environment of trust, respect, and growing together as a team. And I felt that was a moment which made me realize that I think I can do it. It's just not because I had people around me, but I felt like the culture has changed. I have come into the right culture which is gonna support me into growing. And the lesson I learned from that team was, the more you share where you want to be, it can then you can make it happen. If you're just gonna keep it to yourself that you want to be a senior, it's not gonna help. The more you talk, the people are gonna help. So I think previous to that, I was of the view that I need to keep my growth journey secret to myself, close to my heart. Nobody should hear about it. But after working in that team, I realized the more I am going to talk about it, the more feedback I'm going to get, and the more push I'm going to get. And all of us from that team, we don't work together, but we are still in touch, and we are growing in our individual spaces where we want to be. So I feel like that was one of the aha moments where I was like, okay, I need to
That's
change
the
the way I
time.
think. Yeah.
Great story, Shivangi. And it's incredible how powerful, yeah, the company culture
Yes.
can be, and how powerful the team you're in can make you feel, and make you um you know make those choices, and basically just press in your career. um
That's true.
so I'm just cautious about the time. I feel like we can talk probably for another few hours. on
That's
this
true.
topic, because there are so many great examples there. And thank you so much for your, honesty and, like sharing with us how you feel, how you feel in the beginning, and, how you feel now. I think it's been a great examples. And guys who like listening to us, if you enjoy the discussion, please make sure give us give us a like, and send us some comments as well. So obviously, if you're getting values from the conversation, it's encourage me to bring more guests and bring more experts from my network, to share their stories and their knowledge. And as promised, as usually, we have a little giveaway for one of the lucky participants of today's live stream. Shivangi, while you thinking who will be the lucky winner of the virtual coffee today, I'm just gonna do a quick announcement for next week.
Sure.
Next week is 29th of June, and we've been talking with Jeremy, and we've been talking about how to reverse the great resignation in IT industry. Sounds like a massive topic. I don't think we're going to resolve how to reverse the great resignation in IT industry, but at least we can talk about a few points. And obviously, we've seen people changing jobs left, right, and center. And I'm sure it's really related to this working culture that we just talk with Shivangi today as well. So join us next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. And okay, so who's the winner of the virtual coffee chat?
First of all, thank you everyone for joining me and asking and taking time out to ask questions, share your thoughts. All were valuable. I think I'm going to choose Ravanti because I feel like uh, she, our chat, I'm
She
hoping
needs
our chat
it.
with, yeah, our chat could help her if to connect as well, to network with me, and probably I can help her get some confidence back uh, on and bring her back into the work she wants to be doing. So yeah,
Definitely.
my pick is one thing.
Yeah, before Shivangi also comment, thank you so much, Shivangi and Yana, much appreciate your time. I'll make sure I'll connect you on LinkedIn, girls, and you can have the virtual coffee chat. And while we have 2 minutes of the time, just would like to okay, guys, Shivangi sending another comment. Thank you for this inspiring, insightful talk. Much appreciate your time. Thank you, thank you. And just to finish this live stream, I would love you to share, your favorite inspirational quote, or it doesn't need to be a quote, or I don't know, something that you use, the saying or the quote that you use sometimes, on your journey.
I think I keep reminding myself, believe in yourself. I usually say to my team as well when there is things that are not going the way it goes, like, I believe in you, you do the same, and do the same with each other. So I know it's not a quote per se for your team members, but because I believe in that's my favorite quote for myself. I try to tell it to my team as well, that I believe in you, you do the same, and do believe in each other, because everything can happen if we work like that.
Perfect. Love this. And, sometimes the words can be so powerful. And just saying, people that, you believe in them, you're there for them, it can make the way bigger impact that, trying to explain something, or, trying to give, rational advice. Sometimes that's, the power of just the kind words can take us way farther than we think. So, guys, try it with your teams. Next time you feel there is some constraint or difficulty, use Shivangi's quote, and obviously believe in yourself too.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was great. Thank you so much for all your insights today. Thank you guys for participating today and asking all your questions. And we'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you. See you. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you.